The world as we knew it has been shattered and reborn. A cataclysmic event called the Merge fused all realms into one, creating a patchwork world of endless surprises and dangers. This upheaval left many beloved heroes scattered and missing. In the chaotic aftermath, Master Wu and several ninja, including Cole, Jay, and the android Pixel, simply vanished without a trace. Most citizens of the new merged realms feared the worst. With reality itself unstable and mergequakes shaking the land, it was easy to believe those lost were gone forever. In these uncertain times, rumors and wild theories found fertile ground. After all, when the impossible has happened and all the realms have become one, what truly counts as impossible anymore? Amid the confusion stepped Intelligent George, an eccentric online influencer broadcasting from within the merged world. George is not a ninja nor a villain, but something new, a conspiracy vlogger of the merged realms. He hosts a show where he spews wild theories about the merge's mysteries and the people lost in it. With his loud personality and trademark catchphrases, Intelligent George styles himself as the only one asking the smart, brave questions. In his very first appearance, streaming from a hangar bay, he pointedly asks, "Sure, the ninja are back, some of them, but where are the others? Master Wu, Cole, Jay, Pixel, still lost in the merge? No one's asking these smart, brave questions except me, Intelligent George." The character of Intelligent George is portrayed with a satirical flair. He wears conspicuously quirky attire and delivers his commentaries with dramatic conviction, much like a sensational internet personality. He even secures odd sponsor deals to keep his show running. At one point, George plugs Borg's Sufficient Nutrient Wafers, a nutritious snack originally designed for pet tortoises, claiming they're suitable for humans too. Everything about him, from his exaggerated name to his over-the-top product placements, paints George as comic relief. Yet for all his apparent silliness, this character serves a critical role. He voices the questions and theories no one else in the story dares to ask. Intelligent George's broadcasts cover a range of bizarre topics. To the casual listener, his ideas sound absurd or even comical. George insists that gravity is a made-up concept, for example, and even challenges his audience to prove gravity is real. He confidently claims that the moon is made of donut, a notion that would make any scientist spit out their coffee. With such outrageous declarations, it's no wonder many characters and viewers peg him as a crackpot. Sora, a young ninja in training, explicitly warns others not to believe anything Intelligent George says. His reputation in-universe is that of a fringe conspiracy theorist who mixes a bit of truth with a lot of nonsense. However, the genius of Dragon's Rising is that it blurs the line between the ridiculous and the real. Time and again, Intelligent George's wild theories contain real insights into what's truly happening in the merged realms. As the story unfolds, George's name, Intelligent, starts to seem less like a joke and more like a warning not to underestimate him. The challenge, both for the characters and the audience, is figuring out which of his claims are pure lunacy and which are secretly accurate. Let's examine 3 major claims Intelligent George makes and how each one surprisingly hits the mark. From the moment we meet Intelligent George, he zeroes in on a sensitive topic, the disappearance of key heroes during the merge. While the rest of society is busy celebrating the return of a few ninja and adjusting to a new world, George is shining a spotlight on the ninja who haven't come home. In his broadcast, he boldly lists the missing: Master Wu, Cole, Jay, Pixel, legendary figures who vanished in the chaos. Are they still lost in the merge? He speculates, refusing to accept that these heroes might be gone for good. This was a question almost too painful for Ninjago City to ask at first. Many citizens had resigned themselves to the idea that Wu and the others were gone forever in the calamity. But George's relentless questioning kept hope alive and forced the issue into the public eye. In essence, he was the voice of those who dared not give up on the missing. And remarkably, he was right to be concerned. Over time, the ninjas' true fates came to light. The merge had flung each of them to different far-flung corners of the new world, stranding them rather than killing them. One by one, these lost heroes started turning up alive. Lloyd, Kai, Nia, and Zane eventually reunited. Cole resurfaced in the mysterious land of lost things. Even Jay was later found, albeit suffering memory loss and caught up in perilous circumstances. And Master Wu? He survived as a dispersed golden spirit, his physical form lost but not gone entirely. In short, Intelligent George's crazy theory that the missing ninja were still out there proved absolutely true. The entire premise of Dragon's Rising validates George's question. The ninja weren't dead or erased by the merge. They were alive, scattered, and in need of rescue. George was the only one in-universe outspoken enough to ring that alarm bell. What seemed like baseless speculation turned out to be a prescient understanding of the merge's fallout. By refusing to forget the missing, George helped ensure that the audience and the characters didn't forget either. It's a serious reminder that in times of upheaval, those who question official narratives, they're gone, move on, might actually be onto something. After raising the issue of the missing persons, Intelligent George moved on to another strange topic on his show, the so-called night ghost sightings. During the same broadcast in the Blood Moon episode, he teased an upcoming segment on a mysterious phenomenon he dubbed the night ghost, an entity entity rumored to be infiltrating shops under cover of darkness. To many, this sounded like more of George's nonsense. A night ghost breaking into stores? The idea had the ring of an urban legend, the kind of tall tale you'd expect from an overzealous online storyteller. Even Sora rolled her eyes at George's night ghost story initially, cautioning Aaron that George makes all of his stories up. Yet once again, intelligent George was touching on a truth, if not the whole truth. In Dragon's Rising Season 2, Sora herself begins investigating a rash of odd break-ins around Ninjago City, and finds that George's reporting wasn't entirely wrong. There was an invisible prowler breaking into places at night, just not in the way George described. Sora notices a pattern. Contrary to George's claim that department stores were being infiltrated, the intruder was actually targeting antique shops, and nothing was being stolen. This discrepancy might seem small, but it was a crucial clue. Why antique shops, and why leave merchandise untouched? Connecting the dots, Sora deduces that the night ghost is searching for something specific, likely an artifact of great power. Sure enough, the truth behind the night ghost emerges. The culprit is Cinder, an elemental master working with the villains, and he possesses the power of smoke. Cinder had been slipping into antique stores, like a ghost under the door, in search of a legendary item called the Mallet of Shattering. George's ominous warnings about a stealthy infiltrator were validated the moment Sora and Aaron caught Cinder in the act. If the heroes had ignored George's wild night ghost theory completely, they might have been slower to recognize the threat. Instead, George's tip, half correct, half misguided, gave the ninja a vital heads-up. Even in his exaggeration, George had alerted Ninjago to a real danger lurking in the shadows of the merged realms. This pattern is important. Intelligent George often blends fact and fiction. He may get details wrong, mixing up antique shops with department stores, but the core of his story, that something was sneaking around at night, was spot on. It took the level-headed analysis of characters like Sora to filter out the nugget of truth in his sensationalism. In a sense, George provided the puzzle, and the ninja provided the solution. Dragon's Rising thus uses intelligent George to plant early clues for the audience. His frantic theories foreshadow real plot points, rewarding viewers who pay attention, even if the characters laugh him off. Perhaps the most striking example of George's far-fetched theories coming true involves a horrifying puppet. This tale was so bizarre that even George's fanbase might have found it hard to swallow. Reports of an evil puppet attacking people in the wastelands. Intelligent George talked about it on his show, spreading word of a rogue living puppet terrorizing travelers. To anyone with common sense, it sounded like pure fantasy, the ravings of a lunatic or a clickbait headline. When young Frack mentions hearing about the murderous puppet, Sora immediately reacts with skepticism. Surely that tip came from Intelligent George's show? She sighs. Indeed it did. Sora warns Frack not to put any faith in George's tall tales, citing his notorious "gravity is made up" claim as evidence that he'll say anything for attention. Frack, however, is a believer. He admires George's wisdom and even playfully challenges Sora to disprove George's wild ideas, like the gravity hoax. It's a classic clash between a conspiracy believer and a skeptic. Then fiction turns into reality. Later in the episode The Missing, Lloyd, Sora, and Frack find themselves face to face with the very threat George predicted, an enormous puppet rampaging under a sinister influence. In fact, it's a deranged creation of the villain Dorama, a giant puppet controlled by a magical prismatic blade, attacking innocents just as George forewarned. The sight of a life-size puppet firing lasers from its eyes leaves the ninja stunned, and Frack positively vindicated. In the heat of battle, Frack can't help but exclaim what's on his mind. Intelligent George was right. All of George's warnings about a puppet menace were suddenly confirmed in the most dramatic way. The conspiracy theory wasn't a theory at all, but breaking news. This scene is both thrilling and darkly funny. As Lloyd and Sora struggle to disable the rampaging puppet, Frack, wide-eyed, takes George's vindication to a comical extreme. If George was right about the puppet, then maybe he was right about everything. Amid the chaos, Frack suggests that this proves gravity isn't real, parroting George's most absurd claim. Sora, fighting for her life, pointedly refuses to entertain that conversation. The audience gets a moment of levity, but the point is made. Even the craziest of Intelligent George's stories can contain truth in Dragon's Rising. The evil puppet was no hallucination or rumor. It was a genuine threat that the ninja had to confront. Once again, George's outlandish commentary foreshadowed an actual event, giving those who listened an edge in understanding what was coming. Intelligent George occupies a fascinating place in the Ninjago, Dragon's Rising narrative. On one level, he's pure parody, a send-up of real-world internet conspiracy theorists and loud influencer personalities. He's there to inject humor and to satirize how, in an age of social media, anyone can broadcast wild theories to an audience. Characters like Sora treat his show as a joke, something not to be taken seriously. And indeed, much of what he says, donut moons and fake gravity, is laughably off base. The writing of the show has fun with this, using George's segments for comedic relief and world-building flavor. On another level, George serves as an unexpected oracle within within the story. He is the embodiment of the phrase, "Even a broken clock is right twice a day." By coincidence or keen insight, he keeps highlighting the very mysteries that the main characters eventually need to solve. In-universe, this makes him an almost mythic figure, the fool who speaks truth that wiser heads miss. The ninja are heroes grounded in action and reality. George is a dreamer, spinning theories. But Dragon's Rising suggests that imagination and speculation have their value. George's wild imagination lets him consider possibilities others dismiss out of hand. And in a reality-bending event like The Merge, that openness to the fantastical is occasionally exactly what's needed. From a storytelling perspective, Intelligent George cleverly bridges the gap between the audience and the characters. Many fans watching Dragon's Rising, no doubt, had their own theories about what happened to Wu, Jay, Cole, and others after the merge. George essentially voices these fan theories within the show's universe, acknowledging the audience's concerns. When he says, "No one's asking these questions except me about the missing ninja," it feels like the writers winking at longtime Ninjago viewers, assuring them that the unresolved fates of those characters are indeed part of the plot. Similarly, his coverage of strange occurrences, like the Night Ghost and the Wasteland Puppet, primes viewers to expect the unexpected. By the time those plot points pay off, we realize the crackpot knew about them all along. It's also worth noting how the reactions to Intelligent George highlight themes of open-mindedness versus skepticism. Characters like Sora, and likely many viewers initially, approach George's claims with healthy skepticism, which is normally wise. But Dragon's Rising suggests a balance. Skepticism is good, yet one shouldn't be so closed-minded as to ignore evidence or possibilities. After all, Sora herself uses George's Night Ghost theory as a lead to uncover the truth, and Frack's childlike faith in George, while played for laughs, ends up putting him in the right place to help defeat the puppet menace. In a world turned upside down by the merge, being too rigid in thinking could be dangerous. The lesson George imparts is that sometimes the world really is as strange as the crazy theory says. Intelligent George may look and act like a madman, but as Dragon's Rising continues, he's proving to be maddeningly correct on the big points. Time after time, the scoffed-at influencer was right about everything that truly mattered: the missing heroes, the lurking threats, the unbelievable occurrences. His journey from laughingstock to unexpected truth-teller is one of the most intriguing subplots in the new Ninjago saga. It challenges the characters and the audience to reconsider how we judge information in a time of crisis. Just because a message comes from a fringe source or is wrapped in absurdity doesn't automatically make it false. In George's case, beneath layers of exaggeration and humor, he has been a harbinger of things to come. As outside observers, we can appreciate how Intelligent George enriches the story with both levity and lore. He reminds us that in a realm where dragons and sorcery are real, perhaps we shouldn't be too quick to label any idea impossible. The merged world of Ninjago is a place where ancient powers resurface, realms collide, and destinies are rewritten. Is it really so crazy that a loudmouth vlogger might stumble upon the truth? George stands as a testament that wisdom can come from unexpected places. His fellow citizens may think he's crazy, but the events of Dragon's Rising have vindicated him in spectacular fashion. In the end, Intelligent George's name might be more than just ironic. It turns out the influencer infamous for being wrong might just be the one who saw the big picture all along. And as new mysteries loom on the horizon, one can't help but wonder, what wild theory will Intelligent George be proven right about next?